What have we here in the thrilling world of cardboard boxes? This has just arrived. I've just cut the tape and I bought a couple of things on eBay and I can't think what this one might be. There we go. It's the KV1B heavy tank by a company I've never heard of, PST. I thought that might be the name of the company. Never mind. The KV1 fascinates me. I keep saying fascinates. The KV1 is a very interesting tank, and that's what it looks like. It's the forerunner and alternative to the Russian T-34 and various other T versions of tanks. This is in a cellophane wrapper with a hole in. I did that actually. And the box is a bit crushed. The battery ran out again. Anyway, where was I? So yes, this model itself, the box is a bit crushed, but it has come a long, long way, all the way from lovely old Russia. Oh, made in Belarus, no less. There we are. I like the idea of having contact with these marvellous continental places, and the camera won't focus because it's focusing on the cellophane. And that's what it looks like the minute the box top is off. Instructions. Stuff. Looks alright. Plastic's a little bit transparent in its colour, not perfectly opaque. The detail looks a little bit soft, but I think on a tank with a bit of wear and tear, that won't matter. The sprue with the parts on, and it comes in at least 3 if not 4 colours. Personally, I've never understood that, even when Matchbox were doing it back in the 70s and they had 2 or 3 colours, maybe more. Yeah, I'm going to paint it, you know, so yeah. And this one in particular, it's just a uniform green, as many Allied tanks were, unless winter camouflaged. Detail is a little bit soft. Let's have a look. There we are. And I'm not sure how good the sort of sticking to the scale it all is. But, as I said, with a bit of paint on it and all put together, I think this will be a very, very good model. I'm looking forward to it an awful lot. Yeah, what else is there to say? I don't think that the soft detail is going to be a worry. Not at all. What is a worry? Back to this rubbish. Ugh. I know the rubber soft tracks aren't any good, but, or you know, are a compromise, but yeah, a bit more moulding in hard plastic would be better. Right, let's get spraying, painting. Now that's looking much better already, isn't it? Sprayed it with a green, obviously, but a green that's a lot darker than I'd anticipated. So I might have a kind of plan B, as I had with the Revel Tiger, and that is build it as it now is, and then if it does look a bit too dark, get a paler green, which I know I've got somewhere, and just give it a light spray over to bring it up a little. And this one I think is going to be fairly heavily weathered because the Russians tended to push their tanks. So that's the plan. Wheels and stuff all on. The instructions say to build the sort of hull base and then attach the wheels. I remember as a kid doing that and it didn't work very well because sometimes you have to give a little bit of pressure or fiddle about a bit and everything else falls apart. So I put the wheels on the, I don't know, sides first, and then I've begun to attach them to the bottom of the hull. They all went well. There were no real problems. This is a new company to me, so worth giving it a kind of review at this point. What I did find interesting is that most of the fixings were not very strong, so to speak. So pins, ridges and so on allowed for a little play or variation, particularly here. And on the diagram it sort of shows massive, this is a D shape, capital D shape, this also, and you'd think, and again, you'd think it would all sit rigidly together, but they're quite shallow, so everything just wants to rotate and slop about. That's the only real issue, so that's not much of a problem at all. One tiny issue, which is in no way unique to this company, is the parts are fixed to the sprue with very, very big fixings. Actually, these are quite small relative to the other parts. So when you get them off, either cut them, snip them or whatever, there is a bit of cleaning up to be done. And at the moment on the wheels I haven't completed the cleaning up, so you can see how rough some of these points are. So I'll sort those out with a little bit of sanding down and some paintwork. One thing I don't know is, on this, particularly these wheels, are the rims metal or rubber? Looks metal to me, but there we go. And finally, what I do like, this is good, I've encountered it I think once or twice recently, maybe just once, and I can't remember what, when, where or why. The parts don't quite go in, well maybe they do go in numerical order, seeing as I didn't do it in numerical order, but what's really great is they are all on the A sprue. So, I mean, I've pulled this apart slightly to give myself better access, but look, that means that you clear up a whole sprue in one section, rather than having bits and pieces all over the show. I find that quite frustrating with Tamiya. They are alternate sort of hubs on the sprocket drive wheels, so that's why they're left on there. So I'll snip those off and probably turn them into bucklers for some medieval soldiers. Always love a spare part. So that's great, very positive, like that. I'm saying nothing. Almost done. The only thing left are the horrible tracks, and a couple of detail bits that go on the hull. And at this point there are a few things to be done. That isn't on, and that isn't on. So there we are with the three main sections, and each one took about half an hour to do, and that's not bad at all, is it? One problem really did arise, and that is that each of these main sections doesn't fit snugly with any of the others. In particular, the turret was a real issue, and there should be two, I don't know what that is, fin tabs, two tabs, but one broke off as I tried to fix it into the ring, because the whole thing is just that little bit too tight. Which is a little bit of a shame. I don't like moving parts, but I think having a turning turret is quite nice. Ironically, a positive is that, let's see if I can do this, that the gun moves up and down. Yeah, there we go. Would have gone better if I'd done that with a tripod. KV1 out in the open. The main bits are done. I think everything is glued on. There's a basic paint job done. There it is. It's a pretty menacing tank. Can you hear me over this wind? I put the transfers on and they weren't very good, I have to say. Very thin, prone to crumbling and folding up on themselves and stuck to the sort of grease-proof paper that's supposed to stop them sticking. You may also have noticed that the wind's got up since I was out. It was bad enough in the first place. So I'll shut up and have a look. Oh, there's a bit of painting to do and then some weathering, I think. Well, you know, looking back at this, that's just too noisy, so I've taken the sound out, and I'm recording this at the present day in 2019 because actually this little film is probably the model I made probably over 2 years ago, and therefore the parts of the film were recorded that long ago. One of the reasons I can say that is there's no leaves on the trees for a start, but the other thing is that fence post no longer exists. So, and that went quite some time ago. So I've cobbled this together. There's a few shots gone missing. And it's a lovely quiet day today in the sun. So we can hear a few birds tweeting and that's about it. As for the model, actually a few iffy little bits, but it's a good model, it's a good tank. I'll keep my eye out for more. Yeah, I approve. And I think we're done really. I don't know, a little bit of trimming on the paint to do, but tend to spot that long after for some reason. Perhaps I'm just overexcited at getting it done. But doesn't that look like a really tough, rugged tank? You'd feel confident fighting alongside one of those.